press record, and after an hour, there was nothing.
Have a good show.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, Shoshana.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I think I've seen your face somewhere, but it's good to see you again, I guess. Shoshana is, I would say, the producer of SF Tech.
SF Music Tech Summit.
SF Music Tech Summit, which happens once a year in Japantown, right?
Yes, at the Hotel Kabuki in San Francisco.
Okay. So this year is going to be in October?
Yes, it's October 17, 2016. Okay. And we have our opening night party on October 16th. And it's a one-day conference, and we really try to pack it all in to one day.
And October 16th is a Sunday?
It's a Sunday, yeah. So Sunday night we have like an opening night get-together, and then just a full day of panels.
Around 6?
It's from like 5 to 7.
Yeah, okay.
And that's just, for people who are registered. Can come, and it starts with some networking, and which is really the main central theme about the event, is getting people together to communicate and meet each other and to explore ideas, and then a full day of panels and workshops the next day.
Yeah, it's very well attended, I noticed. I mean, it's getting better and better.
Yeah, it's been growing. It grows every year, and at this point we get about 1,000 people all together.
Registered?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've met you once with your partner.
Yes.
Yes, it was a few years ago, and then I came and I taped some of the speakers and the panel and all that. It was fun. It was a fun event, some very interesting demonstrations and things like that. So I recommend it for people who are in the music industry, I would say.
Yeah, everybody. And there's something for everybody in the entire ecosystem of music and technology. So you'll have musicians, startups everywhere from, somebody building something in their garage up to Google, and everybody in between that's trying to move the music industry forward.
Oh, okay. And there's always something new every year.
Yes. Well, just because, people are developing new technologies every year. But yes, you met my partner, so I produce it together with my husband, and that's Brian Zisk.
Yes.
And he's a music activist and also a music visionary. I am a musician, and I am a music lawyer, and I've also worked in the music business for about 20 years now. Yeah, so I'm like
so you represent artists and musicians?
Yes.
In your practice during the year?
I only work at this point I'm working for one musician. I work for George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic.
They have a lot of cases for you?
Well, yes. Well, I do business development and also copyrights, and it just...
That makes sense, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it keeps you busy all year.
Yeah, it keeps me busy, and it keeps me definitely to the ground and not just thinking about what the music industry would need, but just participating in it on a day-to-day basis, and especially on behalf of a musician who's nationally recognized or globally recognized, so he could take advantage of a lot of the new services that are coming out, and he has that fan base, and I can experiment and help him grow in different directions through the opportunities that I see at my own show.
You have your own show?
Well, the Music Tech, exactly. The conference. I also call it a show.
It's called the conference, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Music Tech. So Music Tech, I guess there is a purpose to it. The purpose is to get people from same minded people together, or to see what's new out there.
Exactly. So before we created our conference, there were some other conferences. There's always conferences that are happening.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of transitioning that was happening in the early 2000s in the music industry as people began to digitize music and then began to make it available online. And so it started to really cut into the established business model, which was the manufacture and sale and distribution of plastic discs, which is a petrochemical product that was being shipped all over. And
now it's MP3.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as that started to dissolve, it became a completely different playing field in the music industry, and a lot of the older conferences, people were just getting together to complain about how the business has changed. And here in San Francisco, people become very excited about the future and about technologies and the possibilities. And so we created our conference to get people to talk about what's good about it and what could change. And obviously a lot of things have changed, and the music listeners are not going away, music fans are not going away, and people still want to connect with artists that they love. And that's still as hot as ever. And so a lot of these new services and transformations are happening, and I'm pleased to bring the community together to discuss it and to meet and to do deals.
Nice. So you yourself take advantage of all these connections, I'm sure, to build your practice, or not really? I mean, that you or have your hands full with these two people?
Well, I learn myself, like the people that I invite to come and speak and the things that I want to see are things that I'm interested in.
Yourself.
And if I'm interested in it and I want to see these people, I know other people are going to want to come and see it as well.
So when you say you're a musician, do you actually play in a band now?
Okay, so I have my degree in classical piano performance.
Oh, so you have performed in piano?
Yeah, so I play piano, I play classical piano. The last, big production I did, I was the musical director for the musical Rent that happened here in San Francisco and also in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. So that was the last big production that I did. And then I had a baby, so I kind of...
You did?
Yeah, so after I had the baby, it became more difficult to just pack up my gear and go and join a big production.
Her or him everywhere?
She was actually in my belly when I was doing Rent. So when she hears the music, I feel like it's familiar to her.
Oh, it's good for her.
Yeah, if that's possible. But I now that she's getting to be a little bit older, I hope to get back more involved with performing.
Okay. So you take her to your events? Yeah.
Yes.
But she goes to school too now, no?
Yes. Well, the little one, yeah, they'll come to a little bit of. I mean, I'd like to involve. I mean, most people like to involve their children in what they're doing. And I have an older daughter, and she comes and she'll do. My husband does an elevator pitch workshop at the conference also, and that's where anybody in the audience can get up and do a 1 minute pitch about their product, or their service, or who they're trying to connect with, and. Everybody.
And what time you do that?
It's in the morning on the day of the summit, and it really gets people to
a chance to tell what they are, who they are,
what they're doing, and they can connect with other people that are there who are maybe want to connect with that. So it's not just a mystery, and you have to unlock it over the course of the day. You can figure out right away. Oh, that person! I saw that person talking. I want to meet with that. So.
So I guess 1 minute each will be 60 minutes for 60 people.
Yes, exactly. So my daughter does the first pitch usually. So she gets up on stage. It's okay, if this 12-year-old is not nervous and can get up and tell you her idea, and that sort of lubricates it for other people. It breaks the ice.
Breaks the ice. Yes. So she's totally submerged with music topics.
Totally. Yes.
So she listens to the different speakers and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I found them very interesting. I mean, for the one I went to. So maybe I'll attend this year. So it's a Monday. Okay, Monday 17. That should be interesting.
Yeah,
Do you have a good lineup? Yeah?
Yes, yeah. There are a few things that are, we haven't announced the whole schedule yet, but we usually get around 75 speakers, 75 to 100 people speaking from all different areas of the industry. One particular panel, of course, I like the creative panels. There's business panels, and there's lawyer panels, and there's but where the real musicians get up and talk about what they're doing and what's new in the technology with instruments is interesting. So we're going to do a whole session just on what's new with drums and drum making, beat making, and all those new technologies. And I have Kiran Gandhi, who's a wonderful drummer. She was a drummer for MIA, and she also is a Harvard...
She's going to be there?
Yeah, Harvard mathematician, and just very, very involved feminist
women.
Activist. Exactly. So she's going to get up and try and show all the different technologies, and we have the CEO of Native Instruments is going to be showing off his stuff, and another drummer named...
I remember the year I went, Tyson was there.
Yes.
Well, that was a big personality.
Yes, yeah.
And what's this website that gets the most uploads of music nowadays?
What
online? What's the website where you get the...
Well, really, where's all the traffic at right now? Where are the fans? The big story, at least for this year, is the streaming services. And those streaming services are Spotify, you have Apple Music, YouTube Red, Pandora, You know, everything where you have like a really big library and people pay Rhapsody and you pay a subscription fee and then you can have access to all of this content. And so
people upload their stuff there?
Exactly. So you can get major label content and you can also get independent content. And anybody who's an artist, if they go through like one of the aggregator services, can get their music here. So there's millions and millions of tracks. So then what's the next story? The next really big story is the playlists and the discovery and the contextual playlists, and that's sort of like the big story this year, you know, with where people are going. But it's very different from where it was 5 years ago or where it was 10 years ago, you know, and then people will be talking about what do they think is going to happen in 5 years, where are people going to go, you know, just the fact that...
So people create a name and upload?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, you can get your music. There are like a few services. Like if just as an independent musician, if you want to have your music, you know, be in these places. Pandora is a different story because they have like a different artist submission process. But you can, I don't know, TuneCore or CD Baby or it used to be IOTA. You know, like different services that will cater to independent musicians. So you can anybody can be a part of it now. There's not a bottleneck like it used to be.
So let's say somebody is in rock, they wouldn't go to the same website as someone who plays classical piano, for example.
Well, no, they're all going to be inside the same services. But yes, if you are a musician, you're going to want to have your own website. And if you're not going to be, you know, all aggregated together in the same genre. But if I'm a classical musician, I'll probably have my own website and we'll be trying to connect directly with my fans. Just like a rock musician will then be in his own, you know, and want to be connecting directly with his
So they'll
fans.
do a search. Let's say I want to listen to Spanish dance and Spanish music will appear.
Yes.
And then I want to listen to whatever, Japanese music, Japanese artists will appear.
Yes. Yeah, it's really, I think it's really amazing, actually.
So you have all kinds of international music in one spot, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So are you going to have international... Yeah, you said you're going to have someone from India.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you try to represent a little bit of each continent? Or how do you do it?
Well, I mean, I don't purposely look just territorially at people or just at their national origin, but just whoever has, you know, an interesting story or has an interesting product or something that they do. Like, we really want to highlight people who are visionaries and are creating something new and are doing something that's exciting. You know, we don't necessarily look at the background. You know, a lot of people are in the Bay Area, but people come from all over the world to participate.
This morning I saw a three-year-old Chinese girl playing classical piano, and maybe she was born with a gift, because it's unusual to see a 3-year-old play so good. I mean, it happens though. Some people are born gifted, and they do amazing music. But most people, they have to study for 12 years, right?
Yes. Well, you know, I always thought when people would say that somebody is gifted, that it's really a combination of two things, which is the aptitude and the desire. Oh. So if you have a desire to do something and you actually were born with whatever physical properties are necessary for you to excel in that area. Oh, you mean she was born maybe with a piano right in front of her?
Or
I'm sure somebody showed her. So she probably is bonded with somebody who likes to teach.
And encouraged her.
And she's probably incredibly bonded with that person.
And then she became very good.
And then she became very good, you know. But there are probably like a much smaller percent of people that are able to do that just self-taught. Usually you're going to be looking at you know, somebody with a savant-like skill. But it is really fascinating to see that. A few
kids are good. A few kids turn out to be very,
well,
very
Mozart was like that. I know that he was touring with his father at the age of 4. You know,
and you got inspired.
Yeah, and you could say, okay, this is a musician who, at the age of 4, was he just
surrounded by music?
Was he just a trained monkey, or was he really a genius? Time will tell. Yeah. And then now it's a story from the past where we got to see that he really was a musical genius through all the works that he created in his lifetime. But it became very evident when he was young. So maybe we'll keep an eye on the 3-year-old and see where she goes and what happens.
Yes, I'll show it to her. She's on Facebook.
Yes.
I'll show you the video. So that was amazing. It's funny that I came across that, and I even saw one time a little dog was playing. I don't know. That's probably what your kids watch on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have any kids who are very good at music?
Well, both of my kids, I teach them.
You do?
And you can hope for your kids to be very good. That's one thing that as a parent you can hope.
Oh, you expose them to it.
Yes, or you can hope that they find enjoyment.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily always the same thing.
Yeah.
So if you're pushing a kid to be the best, they may...
It's different. They may have the
get
opposite reaction.
They may get exhausted with the pressure, whereas if you push them to enjoy themselves, that's something that they may enjoy for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. And they might not be particularly attracted to certain kinds of classical music, but they might be interested more like into a musician that they like.
Exactly.
So we don't know how they're gonna, go which channel they're gonna.
Yes,
go
but
into.
usually in most parents' experiences, whatever the parent really likes, the kid's gonna like the opposite. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, you
Yeah.
never know. So you can either expose him with a guitar, or expose him with a drum, or expose him with a piano. It depends.
Just creating the space for it.
And then see which one he likes to play the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that the idea, I guess?
Yes.
So it's hard when you have kids to decide what they're going to do, what they're going to become, then around 18 they decide.
Exactly.
But
I just like watching it unfold.
Yeah, you
See
expose
where they
them
blossom.
to different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some might not want music at all.
Yeah, like my daughter, like I've given her voice lessons and guitar lessons and drum lessons and violin lessons, and she wants to be a dancer.
Oh, she wants to be the one listening to the music.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So you never know.
But at least it's connected to music, dancing.
Yes.
So one is a dancer, one is going to be a musician. Perfect. They're going to form a team, I guess.
Yeah.
Your husband is a musician?
He's not a musician, but he loves music.
Okay.
And
he produces the event as well.
But he produces the event, and he loves musicians, and he's an activist. He started an organization in Washington, D.C. called the Future of Music Coalition.
Oh.
And they are a artist advocacy organization, and they advocate on behalf of musicians whenever there's a debate that comes up, in Congress, and people are saying, this is good for musicians, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's good for the labels. Maybe it's good for a publishing company, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's just a musician. So he will take every, not him personally, but the organization will take, every piece of legislation that's coming out that's supposed to benefit musicians and look and say, okay, here's how it really does, or here's how it really doesn't. And so this is the work that he was doing for many years. And also education as well.
Yeah, he teaches?
No, educating artists about their rights and about the political process and how the legislative process could impact them and impact their careers. And it's always changing. The Copyright Office is always talking about reform. And
there's all kinds of reform now because all the musics, whether they're copyrighted or not, are on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So as with all these new services, and they have to have, hearings on the rate and how much people are going to be compensated and all that. That's sort of his world.
That's a very good thing because I went to the Valencia Sunday Street Fair, and there was a whole bunch of musicians all along Valencia Street, and there was one booth where they were playing very famous people music. So I was just taping Valencia Street Fair. I was not particularly taping that famous person music. But when I uploaded the event on YouTube, it says, oh, there's some copyright music on your footage. So you can still keep the footage online, but you cannot monetize that video if there's any copyrighted material on it.
Yeah, so they found different ways to try to deal with the fact that people were every single day uploading billions of tracks that had music that they didn't own, so maybe they'll say, we need to take this down. Maybe they'll remove backing track. Maybe they'll put an ad, but then the ad revenue goes to the copyright.
To the copyright, yes, that's what they told me. They say if we put an ad, they will go to the person who did the music.
Yes, and I think all of those things are fair.
Yeah, because it's the music. I mean, the attraction of the video is because of the music. So it's right that the musician gets the copyright and the revenue.
Yes.
So that's the way they figured it out. This way they don't have to take down millions of videos just because there's a famous tune on it. It's not the whole song. It's just pieces of a song as you walk.
There are also like just other parts of that though. I mean, even though it's like, okay, I want to think about it, I want to think about the rules. How amazing is it that you were able to upload a track and there was a machine that could listen to it and could identify that track?
Oh yeah, it's a computer.
Like, that's like pretty amazing, how even that technology and how that developed, and the work that Grace Note is doing and the work that, it's just
I mean, they have probably billions of soundtracks in their computer, and when you play whatever, it hits it.
Yeah, and it can take a fingerprint, just all that stuff, just...
It's
mind-blowing.
The computer will pick it up. The computer will pick it up.
Yes.
Because they have all of them on their computer. So that's also... It's just like when you do a search on Google, you do a search and seconds later, whatever you search for appear. But the computer had to go through billions and billions and billions of records because it pops out what you were searching for.
So it's just like text, they're only searching for combinations of 26 letters. And then the image search, it's like, what are they searching for? And then to have a music.
And with music, it's the same thing. The music certain sounds, and the computer recognizes it. So that's the technology. The new technology coming out, just in case you want to know, is technology that recognize images too. So you can store a person on your hard drive, and then there's a software that will tell you where on the hard drive that person is by recognizing the picture. So there will be so many more different search engines rather than just text. It's going to be text, image, video, sound, all kinds of searches. It's going to be more and more expanded. I mean, in different ways to find things.
The accessibility of the information.
Yeah.
And
so
just
right
the
now,
accessibility of music.
Yeah.
Like, just like I remember in the 1990s, if I really wanted to hear a song, and I just like wanted to just hear it,
you just type the name of the composer.
Before there were computers, it's like you had to go to the store
and look for
try to find it. Maybe it was out of print, maybe it was rare, maybe it was at the library. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And
that's true.
then buy a cassette, and it had 10 songs in it, but just the one that you wanted to hear, and it was $14, and or whatever. And it's
but
just
now
like,
you type the name of the music on Google, and it will appear.
Yes.
But a different engine is going to be, you put maybe the image of the of the Beatles, and the music of the Beatles will appear. That's the different things that's going to come up. Not just text, it's going to be also images. So we're going to go in directions that we didn't think about before. And the world is moving so fast now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the new generation of kids, they're going to do things we don't even comprehend.
Oh, absolutely. That's why one of the most fascinating people right now I think about, like in music technology, is Kurzweil, who had invented the synthesizer, or I don't know if he was one of the people who was working on the invention of the synthesizer, and now he has this Singularity University, and he has a documentary out. It's called The Singularity is Near. And what he's talking about, just even like what's happening with music, how every year it's just getting more and more and more amazing, to the point where we used to talk about a celestial jukebox. One day we could access any song, and like now we're here. Just like we used to on Star Trek be like, one day we'll be able to flip a thing and do a video call, and now it's like people are doing Skyping and doing video calls all the time, and we don't even think about how amazing it is. And and his theory is that computers, hard drives, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where it's like you have these like nano computers.
Yeah, you can store. Now it's on water. I don't know if you.
Yeah, just like the way the technology is evolving, and he's actually like just mathematically predicted that in a certain period of time that you'll have a computer that you can put.
It's a drop of water.
It will go in your blood cell. You can put a computer in your blood cell, and then you could have one of these if you could afford it, or I don't know what the barrier will be, but maybe it'll be a health insurance thing, but everybody will have a computer in every one of their blood cells.
Oh my God.
And then how does that change? Like you get cancer, well, let me just program all the cells in your body because it doesn't
to look for it.
Maybe it doesn't have the intelligence, but I can program. You know what I mean? And then
we're gonna know instantly if we have it.
Are we machines now? Like who's in control? You know, so it's just fascinating to know that this is what's happening and this is where it's going, and then to think about how this is going to affect people's experience of music and entertainment.
It's a Japanese thing. They say you can store a lot more information on a drop of water. I don't know how they're going to...
Yeah, a grain of rice or, you know.
I couldn't believe this. It's incredible. Like, I thought a hard drive is the one that stores the most. I mean, we can't even comprehend how those kids are thinking.
Oh, I know. It's like a future, you know, I think about like my children and what they're going to observe and witness. Even the stuff that I've witnessed, you know, in my lifetime.
It's
just
already
like,
very advanced.
It's a future that I can't even visualize in my dreams.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, something that's going to be impossible. Like we say, oh, self-driving cars, now it's a reality.
Totally. So this is the type of thing that this is the way people think, or at least the space that I want to create at the SF Music Tech Summit. It's just to think about possibilities, not to be worried about like, well, I'm going to get sued if I do, or this is the barrier, or this is what's going to block it. It's like, no. You know, that's
more.
We're not going to focus on that. Exactly.
Yeah, it's outdated.
And it's like, what can be possible, you know? And people get very emotional about music because it really...
Personal.
It is very personal, and a lot of people have an intimate connection with music. You know, just all humans react to the sound of music the same way, you know? And it's just like such a universal thing, you know, that people can get behind and just get really inspired about. And that's why you can see a lot of exciting things happening in the music industry because of it.
So yeah, it's something I look forward then to maybe go to your thing. I think I can. Monday the 17th I'll be available. It's going to be interesting. So you're going to have first a networking the night before, and then a lineup of local and out-of-town people. Is that what you're going to have?
Yeah, so there's going to be panels and workshops throughout the day. Yeah. And we usually have about 3 sessions going on simultaneously. Okay. And we'll have everything from like new product and technology demos where people are showing off the new things they've invented. We'll have, you know, like a review of like what's happened in law, you know, over the past year, like what the hot topics are.
Oh yeah, there'll be a table for that.
Like something that's very interesting just for developers, something that's very interesting for content creators, and also, you know, the regular things like speed networking and the elevator pitches. I like one of the most important things for me is that women come to our show and that they feel comfortable and that they feel welcome as a female event producer.
Oh,
you know?
That's true. What's the percentage? Is it like 60-40 now?
Yes. So I always make sure that we have a lot of representation of women on the panels and also inside the audience. And so I'll be hosting a women's meetup during the show. And
so you have like on the registrant mostly men?
No. I mean, a lot of conferences that I think that is a challenge is just to have it be balanced gender. But I think because this is a female organized conference that I try to at least make sure that they feel invited and welcomed, and they are, and it does happen.
But there's not as many bands that are made of women. It's mostly bands of men, although we do see, of course, a few women in the band, but
on stage,
but the musician in the band are mostly men.
Well, I think in every single industry that you're going to notice this, that where it's going to be somebody working, that it's going to be mostly men working, because it's like women have 2 jobs, you know. Yeah. So like right now I have 3 jobs. You know, I have like my family that I'm taking care of, and I also have the work I'm doing for George Clinton, do my law practice, and also organizing. You know, so you really have to be pretty internally driven. Whereas, you know, I don't know if if men feel as conflicted, but there's a lot of pressure on men too. So I'm not saying,
No,
so,
they have responsibilities too. As a matter of fact, they die earlier than women because they have a lot of stress.
Exactly. So I think that men and women have different experiences just in trying just living and trying to get on stage. But in terms of just feeling welcome at my conference, that's something that is like my personal mission to make sure that it is balanced.
What do you choose as a sound, background sound? Something smoothing or something rock? What do you put in the background?
Oh, at the SF Music Tech Summit?
Yeah, do you put different kinds of music?
So we like to play the Grateful Dead. We've had a lot of the members, from the Grateful Dead come and speak, and that's something that my husband and I
always
have in common because we're both fans, and he. But that
so
was just from.
Play that?
We'll play that and just like electronica, but that really is just like in between the panels, as like background music.
And while people walk, there will be music?
Yes. Okay. And there's also, we do visual art installations.
Okay.
Last time we had a lot of virtual reality installations so people could test out new products. And there's also an exhibition hall where people can, walk around and look at the tables and also, different technologies and try them out as well.
Like if I go on my iPhone, what's the most popular app for music?
I don't know. I know in the App Store for a while, Smule held a lot of the top places, but you can look at the App Store under music and see.
If I want to walk and listen to music, which app should I download?
For me, so I have a subscription to YouTube Red, which
is music.
But it's on YouTube and you get it ad free, and then also you can play YouTube in the background while you're in other apps.
And there's iTunes Store.
Yes, and so you have the iTunes Store, and then you have Apple Music. I also use
Pandora. Here's Apple Music.
Yes, Apple Music. I use Pandora.
Okay.
A lot of people like Spotify.
Okay, so the music and iTunes Store I have. All right, but I cannot put them all here, but I'm sure Pandora is good, of course, because you get all kinds of music there. Yeah. So.
And then they have services in other countries, like Deezer is more popular in Europe, but maybe they don't have the licensing.
How do you spell that?
Deezer, Deezer.
Oh, Deezer. I never downloaded that one. All right. So I do have 3 of them here. So, and what's Audible? No.
Audible is for books.
Okay.
Yeah,
Audible
so those are spoken word books.
Okay, spoken word. And then podcasts.
Podcast is part of the iTunes Store, but that's going to be podcasts, which would be something similar to this interview. I interact with podcasts all the time. I love listening to podcasts.
Yeah, what's good about a video like this one is you can retrieve the sound of it and make a podcast. And then you can transcribe the sound into text and put it on your blog. So out of a video, all of a sudden you have 3 different mediums of showing the interview. You can show it audio, you can show it text, and you can show the audio video.
Yes, so it's never been easier to get yourself heard than it is right now.
Yeah.
So
some people do all 3. I don't know. You have a blog where you put all 3?
Oh, no. I mean, we record the session. So that's the thing. If you can't make it to the SF Music Tech Summit on October 17th,
streamed online?
Yeah, we're going to be recording everything, and then it's available for free. And you could get our complete library. And we've been doing this show since 2008, so we have many years of content. 8 years, and so you can go to our website, sfmusictech.com,
and you can retrieve the session
everything's on SoundCloud. And also at archive.org, at the Internet Archive.
Oh, archive.org. I videotaped archive.org this year. I went to the archive.org on Funston.
Yes.
And I was surprised to see that they have my website since I started it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's like the Wayback Machine is one of the most
since 2000, they have been updating my website.
Yeah, so what they do is they'll actually take a snapshot of every single, it takes many terabytes of space, but they'll take a snapshot of the entire internet on a particular day, and they'll save it, and then you could go to the
search it.
archive.org, go into the Wayback Machine, and take a look at, you could say, what did Amazon.com look like in 2001? I remember it used to look like this, and you could actually pull it up, and it's a digital library.
It's a digital,
of the internet.
Exactly. I was so surprised. I mean, my shows from 87 to 2000 were not digital, so they're not yet on. They're not on archive.org, but now I'm putting all my VHS into digital, so they're starting to be on archive.org.
So actually, the person who created the Internet Archive, Brewster Kale, is actually going to be speaking at the SF Music Tech Summit as well. So it's interesting that you brought it up because he's part of our speaker lineup. This year.
I taped him during his presentation, and then I went in person to his center. Yeah, so I've seen his slideshow, his slide presentation this year, and I've seen him giving a good tour of the place.
Yeah, brilliant visionary.
Yeah.
Brewster Kale.
Yeah, he sold his company, and then he started archive.org.
Yes, yeah, so he did very well in the .com time.
Yes,
and then...
with the money, he created something useful.
Exactly. He went and gave back to the community and created this nonprofit, and is doing great work now.
Yeah, he did. He's raising like $5 million a year to keep the center open, and everybody there works for they don't have like huge wages or anything. Everybody has a decent job, and then they keep it going. He has a team of about 20 people, and they work full-time just to archive everything, from books to magazines to postcards, and to...
Yeah, people send collections to him, and he'll digitize it and put it up in the library.
Exactly. So
they have all the old video games from the 1980s. They have, like, you can play them, and... it's really
and he has someone full-time just digitizing, boxes and boxes of old magazines. So it's huge. I mean, I can't believe how much stuff. The only thing he needs is bigger and bigger servers, because they're digitizing.
And they're all there.
They're all there.
Yes.
Yeah, and they have all the machines also. If I want to transfer a mini DV to digital, they have all the machines there that I can use to do that. They have the VHS machines and beta machines. If I ever cannot find a piece of old equipment, all I have to do is go there, because they do have all the old equipment to play my old shows. So this is an awesome thing. So so all your shows, all your music tech are on archive.org.
Well, many of them are on archive.org, and many of them are also on SoundCloud.
So it's called SoundCloud?
SoundCloud, yes. But you can just go to our website, sfmusictech.com.
Okay.
And then you can, through there, access the library, and it'll point to where everything is.
Okay.
Yes. So we have another show that we're actually planning right now that's coming up in December.
Okay.
And it's the same thing as SF Music Tech Summit, but it's going to be in a different state.
Really?
And that's going to be in Hawaii, in Maui. So
a way to take a vacation.
Yeah, exactly. It's a way to take a vacation, but it's longer. So it's December 8th through 11th.
Oh, 3 days.
On the island of Maui.
Oh.
And everybody's invited if they can come. It's on December 8th through 11th.
Take 3 days off, yeah.
Exactly. But it's more of like a retreat setting, for the people who are visionaries. But instead of just getting in and out in one day and trying to very quickly have that big spark, it's more of spending a few days together in a very beautiful environment, and just having like long conversations, and like more high level visionary,
like a retreat.
Exactly.
And you're gonna have a band there, a live band.
Yes, yeah. Well, we have a few very big musicians who said that they want to come.
Okay.
So I'm not making any announcements yet, over about the lineup or anything. But as soon as
they confirm.
Yeah. Well, as soon as SF Music Tech Summit ends, then we'll be making announcements about everything for the Maui event.
It will be like I don't know, like the one. The week-long. Like in the desert, what is it called?
Burning Man.
That one is a week long.
Yes.
No, but 3 days is better.
Yes.
Because a week is way too long. So I think 3 days is... Like, they had the Oracle conference this week, from Sunday through Thursday, But after Tuesday, people were gone. I mean, Wednesday and Thursday, there was nobody because after 3 days, people are exhausted. They just want to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much information you can absorb. So 3 days,
it's a perfect day.
It's saturated. The other 2 days, okay, let's go sightseeing a little bit. Let's pack up. Let's pack presents. But, you know, the mind only can absorb so much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think especially we are bombarded with information nowadays.
Yes.
So we'll be bombarded with information about music in your music tech.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you try to cover a little bit of each type of music or not really?
You know what? Like through the years, like we'll have different
Theme?
Well, we never really repeat panels.
The same.
You know, so
Okay.
there's always going to be what do we think is interesting right now.
Okay.
You know, like what is coming up. You know, for us, like I think it's interesting how the dashboard in cars have been evolving and how people are interacting with their music collections through their car dashboard and those integrations, and that's kind of fascinating to me.
So you're gonna have that?
Yes, and then a lot of different areas, but it's never really just like one specific genre. It's more about like how the whole industry, you know, can benefit.
Is it distracting to listen to music while you drive? I guess no.
No.
I guess people have been doing it forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's distracting the text while you drive.
Yeah, is bad.
That's like almost equivalent DUI distraction.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So, but
I've
listening to
seen
music-
people text during stoplight and then they put the phone down and then start driving again. I mean, but on red light they can start looking at their phone again.
I mean, people do different things. I think it's all illegal. I don't know.
Yeah, you cannot use your phone
Yes.
while you drive. Yes, no matter whether
But
it's
you can
a stop.
definitely use your car radio, and
Okay,
that's
that's
really
legal.
evolving.
That's legal. Okay.
Mhm.
Do we have what the new cars? What do they have now on their dashboard? They have iTunes. You can hook up to your cell phone.
A lot of what's changing, and I haven't been in every single new car, you know,
Okay,
to say.
what
but,
do they have?
But I know that you know that you'll be able to see who the songwriter is, like
Okay.
all the metadata is coming through.
I see.
And then it also there's a way to connect with the different services that you're subscribing to. That
Okay.
you know that it comes kind of
And
like,
comes
it
on the
comes
screen.
kind of built in. Exactly. And then you have the screen. And then so that's something else that can be, you know, designed and can evolve. And there's definitely a lot of stuff that the companies that are working on it right now are going to be.
It's no longer going to be a tune-in by hand like
yeah,
that.
exactly. FM or AM. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
so.
no longer applicable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although FM, AM do they still exist?
I don't even know.
I never heard about those two things for a long time.
Yeah.
But I know that still some radio station are on AM and some radio station are on FM.
Yeah.
But
So if you have a digital service like Sirius,
yeah.
you know, then obviously you're not using the FM and AM. But
Yeah.
I think those frequencies are still, you know, in
Existing.
existence.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, it's very interesting. So for someone who I've been to your show, but for someone who has never been to your show, do you tell us what they should expect? So what are the highlights?
Well, definitely they should, if they were planning to come to my show for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you should definitely plan to get there right when breakfast starts. We serve a big breakfast in the morning with like lox and bagels and, you know, and it's a great way to start and socialize.
Okay.
In addition to coming to the party, of course, the night before.
Okay, so at 8 a.m.
Yes. Then depending on who you are, if you are a musician and you're trying to find different tools, you know, then you could look and try and find, you know, the panels that are going to be right for you. Or if you have a startup, we have a startup competition.
Okay.
And the competition is already closed right now and judging is underway. And, you know,
They're building an app or something?
or just anybody could apply. Anybody who was attending the conference can apply,
Okay.
and then we'll see who the winners are. So it's going to be like a showcase of the winners, and these are
Okay.
going to be all new products and new ideas. So that can be very inspiring, and the judges will be there and they'll talk about why they picked, you know, certain companies. So I think that's interesting. You should definitely, if you're new, plan to come in and do an elevator pitch
Okay.
so that you can introduce yourself. Preparation is encouraged; it's not required. But if you can try to think about what it is that you're doing or what it is that you want to do, and try to say that in 30 seconds, you know, just like you have 30 seconds in an elevator with somebody to totally get your point across. That's something that you can practice.
So people
before you
in
come.
tech and people who are composers and people who are musicians. So it'll be a blend of creative people and tech people.
Exactly. And also the service providers and the writers and the bloggers and journalists, you know, who...
And the apps.
Yeah, and the people who are building apps, and then people who are building hardware, and people who are building instruments. You
so you expect at least 1,000 to show up this month?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So you already...
taking over Japantown. And then also for somebody who's totally new, during lunch, I will have like a newbies get-together, which is almost the same thing as the elevator pitch, but it's over lunch.
And people network.
And people can network, yes.
Bring your business card.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Bring whatever. Some people use they send their iPhone business card, whatever it's called now.
Yeah, the V card.
Yes, so there's all kinds of new things about getting to... More and more when I go to networking and I give people my business card, they say, oh, I don't use paper anymore. Just tell me what's your LinkedIn. And I say, okay, here's my LinkedIn. So I went to networking and 5 people asked me for my LinkedIn instead of giving me a business card. So it's really moving in that direction. Like, no more business card, baby. Find me online.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, I think anything that, like, eliminates clutter in our life, you know. And
why
also...
not? Yeah.
You know, like you become connected to this person, and like what do you have to do in the past? You get the card, you go home,
and you don't know where you found it.
Rolodex, or you can lose it, or it's in the stack.
And I found you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
yes, so finding you through a pile of 3,000 cards would not have been very productive for me because I would have had to look forever.
Or just because people are constantly changing positions.
Yes,
you know,
true,
so maybe you saw my card and that's where I used to work, but then you call me and I don't work there anymore. You know what I mean? So that's the
something
nice thing
like that
about LinkedIn and Facebook and
you
the social
update
network.
it.
People will get updated and you don't really lose contact with people.
Okay.
You know, so
yeah, I love LinkedIn more and more now.
Yeah, and I think they're rolling out some new stuff I saw today. Which is
really?
Pretty exciting. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Although you have to contact people who are not in your network, you have to upgrade or things like that. Yes, so most people in high position, you can contact them whether they are in your network or not because they have the premium account. You don't even need to be connected to them to contact them because they have a certain type of account where they can be contacted anyway. So that's also things that people can have. Where you can really open your doors to everybody if you want to. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Next time maybe you can bring your husband. And then I look forward then to be there on the 17th, videotape a little bit of the panels and a little bit of what's happening.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.